You're here because you're ready for financial freedom. I'm Teresa Street, and this is the Poppy Payoff Path, where progress always matters more than perfection. Hey, I'm so excited to tell you that I talked to two financial advisors so far, and I'm supposed to talk to one more, but I haven't heard back from him to give us the link for our appointment. It's a Zoom. Anyway, so we've talked to two of them. Both were, uh, I think they would work, either one of them. It'll just come down to final preferences. And so we'll see about that. We have another appointment set up with one of them tomorrow after work. And we've gathered all of the information for him to do a financial plan for us, which it just feels so good because we're going to know what um what our real situation is from a professional um who deals with this all the time. I mean, I'm just one person trying to, do a lot of different things in my life. And so it's just so exciting to be able to talk to someone who can, give us options and, so we can make good decisions. I did get on the Social Security um, website today to determine what my income would be um, from Social Security, which honestly I'd kind of forgotten about that because, um, you know, I just never expected that to be an option, and it's a pretty big option right now. But I've worked for 20, 30, almost 40 years so far, and I have another 10 years to work. So, it'll be at least 50 years that I will have paid in. And so, yeah, but I just wanted to tell you a couple of the things that the analysts ask us to gather for our meeting tomorrow. One is um, what are our goals? When do we want to retire? Um, what will our income needs be? And a great estimate for that, and this is the reason you do a budget, because we can look back and determine what our income needs are going to be. It's not going to be less, the only thing that won't be in the budget or required to be in the budget is going to be the debt payments. So that chunk of money that is right now coming out and needed will no longer need that. And I would say that amount will probably be replaced. Oh man, it's a little bit later than I wanted it to be for me to be recording this, but I'm just gonna go for it. Um, I I think that some of the money that we pay out right now in debt payments would go to travel, but we'll have to determine, what our budget could be for travel. But it's just super exciting. So, anyway, first thing is, what are your retirement goals? When do you want to retire? And what are your income needs? Um, and then what are your assets and liabilities? That will be like, do you have investment accounts? Do you have a cash savings account? What are your debt obligations? So I had to list all of our investment accounts out and our debt um, accounts. I just kind of made a simple spreadsheet to send him. And then um, we have to gather our Social Security pension, um, Social Security pension portfolio income. I don't have any of that right now. as like we didn't work at jobs that have pensions, and we don't have portfolio income at the moment. Um, so all we'll have to do is share the Social Security. And we just are needing Drew to get his number for that. And then you list out your insurance and annuities. I don't even know what annuities are. I've heard that term thrown around, but I have no idea what that is. Um, so we just listed out our life insurance policies. Um, I will be doing great if Drew goes over the Rainbow Bridge. If I go over, it's not going to be as good for him. It's going to hurt him. Okay, so you have to determine when you're doing investments, you have to determine what your risk and return objectives are. Like, how comfortable are you with market volatility? Um, are you okay with high risk? Um, and there's usually like you would use a 1 to 5 scale. 4 would be I'm comfortable with some swings. You see dips as opportunities, and then 5 would be volatility doesn't shake me at all. The market is pretty volatile right now with everything going in the world, and there are some changes in investments in the stock market as a result of that. Of course, prices right now are really high. I went to Sam's yesterday and filled up my tank, and I actually screamed whenever I saw the price at 4.79. I know some of y'all probably live in areas where it's even more expensive, um, or even less, but uh, that's pretty high for here. And then, so yeah, um, I put us down for between 4 and 5 on the scale because I think that we're comfortable to a point with volatility, but it's kind of a little bit scary because we've worked our whole lives for this money that is hanging out there in the investment world, and to know that it could just be, just drop out the bottom at one point is just, like it's not something I want to think about every day, which is one reason I think it would be good to have a financial advisor. Um, that way, it's somebody taking care of it that has the all of the tools, all of the knowledge to do that, and they have like that background in it where I don't have that. I mean, I could kind of muddle through it a little bit, but it would not be great. So anyway, um, next thing we had to grab our tax rate, our effective tax rate. And what that is the amount of money you pay in taxes divided by your taxable income, which I just realized I put the wrong number down because I put what we have to pay in taxes, and our actual taxes are more than that. We just did not pay enough in, so we're having to pay that extra in. Um, and then let's see. Then there's like miscellaneous. If you have other factors not listed, that would be a part of your overall financial picture, you would share that. But we've talked about so many numbers so far that I don't think there's anything else I could possibly talk about with um, this man. I just, nope, I don't have anything else. Somebody else is going to have to pour some information into my mind for me able to, oh man, for me to be able to make a choice in, um, A or B, which one, do you feel more comfortable with? So, so yeah, that's where I am right now with the um, financial advisor, I did it. We did it. We're on the way, and I expect to have one locked down in the next few days so we can move forward with um, that part of our finances and make some decisions. Um, we did decide to stay in our condo. We were kind of toying around with the idea of moving, but um, I went through a pros and cons list after I, um, you know what? I'm gonna go get that. Okay, I'm back. I went and got my pros and cons list. I'm not gonna show you the whole thing, but I'll just show you. It's it's on a piece of paper like that is this big. Um, I actually took it to the beach. This pad yesterday, I took it to the beach and sat out there and wrote some of my answers for what this episode is actually supposed to be about. Um, and today, whenever I started really thinking about selling the condo, I was like, I need to really dig into it because we're gonna have to have a conversation with these guys and we need to make a decision. And so what I came up with is the market took a downturn um, in the last probably about a year and a half. And we barely, um, I think we actually owe more on it, like just by a little bit than what it's worth. So obviously, this is not the time to sell. Um, but we thought about doing it anyway, just, you know, thinking what would be anyway. I'm just going to leave that alone. Um, the only real pro would be to get out of paying the HOA fees, which is always good, but not necessarily the best decision overall for this. So we've decided that we are going to stay here and kind of keep going with paying off our debt and getting in a better financial situation and see what happens a little bit down the road. But we are going to do a little bit of upgrades to the bathrooms. They just need just a little bit of work, you know, just a little bit of work. They needed that when we moved in, but when we moved into the house that we purchased before we lived here, we upgraded the floors. I think we put a new roof on that. And but we did a lot of work to that. But this one we're like, you know what? We're just gonna paint, just have it painted. Teresa does not paint. Um, have it painted and then, it's fine. It's doable. And so the only thing that we really need to do is um the the shower and bathtub. There's two bathrooms. One has a shower and one has a bathtub slash shower. And probably new toilets too, because these are like, they're just small. Like, that's so weird that people would have small toilets in general. But, who knows who lived here before. So, what is this episode really about? First, I want to tell you that I'm switching over to a series in my episodes, and I want to have some kind of continuity with the topics that I talk about. And it's going to be week one is going to be money mindset and momentum. Um, and that is the week that I'm going to talk about the mind shift I experienced, emotional pattern I noticed, story from my life, or Poppy, my why this week. Um, And you know what? I'm going to learn how to not say all the time because I used to be in Toastmasters and I got really good about giving speeches and not saying all the time. And I hear myself so much. The mind shift I experienced this week is clearly I've decided not to sell our condo. This is where we're gonna be for the foreseeable future. We like it here. We like the location. It's a good layout. There's just a lot of pros and just only the one con for leaving. So we're going to be here. And that's exciting to not feel like I'm in limbo and think about spending extra money to, move again. The emotional pattern I notice, I get really excited when we're going to wrap up a decision. When we struggle with what's the right thing to do, um, like that just gives me internal turmoil, which I'm a problem solver. I've got to come to a solution, or I just think about it and think about it and think about it. And if you're that way, you're in good company. We can go and get better together through this. Here's a story from Poppy. I love going out to the parking lot to get into Poppy and go and do whatever the things are we need to do. Go to work, come home, go to the grocery store, run out to Walmart, um, all the things. Because every time I go somewhere, it means that I get to drive the car that is the mascot for this whole project. I get so excited to get in the car and take a ride with Poppy to work, to home, to the grocery store, to whatever errand we go on, because I know that every mile is taking me one step closer to my goals and, to a future of being financially free. And what I want to tell you is that um, you should pick something like that in your life, whatever it is. It, it could be your keychain. You know, you could uh, get like a cute little bracelet, not an expensive one, $1, whatever. You probably already have it if, whatever, just some kind of symbol that reminds you of the journey that you're on, even if it's not financial. It could be health wise, it could be like either physical or mental health wise. Um, yeah, I mean, we just need to tell ourselves and give ourselves the encouragement that whatever we're doing is the best we can do in that moment. And some is better than none. Whatever you're trying is good. Make sure that you know and you think to yourself, I'm enough. I make good decisions. Even sometimes when I slip, I can fix it and turn around and make a better choice to course correct. I'm trying to say course correct. Um, we can always course correct. And so this week, I feel so positive because I'm seeing a journey forward. I've decided to apply for my LLC because the Poppy Payoff Path is the first step in something big. And I'm not going to say everything that's on my mind because it's so early and undeveloped. And but I just want you to know that I'm going to be here um, creating and sharing with you what I'm doing. And this is going to branch out into other things. So, I want to go ahead and get it set up now as an LLC so that I can start tracking what I'm doing and, make it a legit um, project. It's right now it's kind of a hobby. And hobbies are great. Like I'm sure a lot of people do podcasts and other things, have a website, have um, all the socials for their podcast for a hobby, but look, I need some money, okay? Like I need to make some more money. And if I could replace my income, um, I would definitely do something in this realm much, much more enjoyable for me than going into a workplace, which I love my job, don't get me wrong. I keep hitting this piece of paper, I'm sorry. Um, I do love my job and I enjoy what I do. I just would like to focus whenever I get a chance on something that I enjoy even more, like creative like this, because me creating this podcast and delving into what I'm doing, I just have such a strong belief that this can help somebody else. And if I can give somebody a ticket to, skip over a bridge, give them like, here's this nugget of information. If I can give that to somebody, that just blesses my soul so much because I love to be able to get those same nuggets from someone else. Um, so yeah, if I ever got the chance to do this more as a job, then I would definitely do that. And oh, funny story. Um, so I have been looking up how to improve my sound and lighting. I mean, I think my lighting's okay right now. I think now I forgot to do one one light, which is supposed to be behind me. So that's why you see some shadows back there. Um, but I got all that taken care of and I figured out how to do the sound editing. So hopefully this episode sounds better than the other ones previously, although I'm probably all over the place topic wise. Um, yeah, I'm working on a different camera. Like all my cameras are fine, but I just like to play with different things to create. And it's so exciting to me to think that I can learn something and then I can tell somebody else about it. That's what we should be doing is if you learn something and think it can help somebody else, tell it. Even if you post it on your social media, tell somebody. Um, I mean, the amount that I've learned on video and sound editing so far is amazing. I know that there are people that do that for a living. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to like have a business that um pay somebody else to do that and have like a partner. Um, but right now it's just exciting to me that I can just figure out these little things and I just ordered a new lens for my camera. Do I need it? No, but if I ever do decide to video on that camera, I do need it. Um, there is a lens that I would love to get, but it's very expensive and that will have to come at some time in the future. So I'm trying not to spend very much money in investments in what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to focus all of my money on the, debt payoff strategy. So that's where I am with that. What else? With every decision that I make, I am getting more and more courageous with stepping out of my comfort zone to learn new things. And I think that is large in part due to delving into this project in the first place. Um, and this project being the debt payoff. Like it inspired me to do the podcast because I want to tell other people and I want to encourage other people that even if you're in a bad um, situation or a situation that you don't really want to be in, um, you can make choices and get help and learn and get skills and get out of it. And I just love being on a journey where I'm learning and um, getting to the next steps here and there. And it's just really feeding my creative soul. And I think that we all need something that we're putting out in the world. I saw a counselor a couple years ago, and I told her all about the things that I was reading. And she stopped me and she asked me, "What do you do for fun?" And I just kind of laughed and I said, I read and strength train and I listed all of this stuff that I do or I absorb, but nothing that I put out into the world. And she asked me, "What do you create?" And I said, "Nothing." And she said, "You need to find something that you'll enjoy creating and put that out into the world. Everybody needs to put their mark out there." And I have this little frame in my kitchen that says, "The world needs who you were created to be." And that's true for all of you too. Um, don't hide behind layers of fear. Let your real self out there, and the people that are for you will be there for you. Thanks so much for listening. This is the Poppy Payoff Path. I'm Teresa Street. Keep moving forward. Every step counts.